seconds in. Welcome everybody to the San Diego Chargers franchise Season 1 offseason. The day is finally here to get another offseason underway and to push towards the next season in this Madden 17 franchise. Season 1 was a good time. I've already recapped the season on my channel along with gone through a lot of these prospects. And of course, they're going to be a big part of today's live stream as we find who are the next San Diego Chargers and who am I going to be making episodes with moving forward. And of course, we remember my Jaguars franchise for those of you that watched last year on Madden 16. That first draft class, it's probably never going to be topped by me. I would put like at a less than 1% chance of ever having a class like that again. The superstar players I did, getting the Taki Mason, Nate Bell, Stephen Cole, and the other players on there, it's not exactly fresh in my mind right now. But to have a class as good as that one, I mean, it's really tough. And I've never had one that could compare to it. But we're going to try to do it today as we have some spots to fix with this roster. And we want to see us get a better team for year 2. So welcome everybody here watching on Twitch or on the VOD on YouTube. And I think we are about ready to get underway. So just to recap where we're at right now, the Chargers finished 9-7, second place in the AFC West, and we had an overall pretty good season, I thought. I wasn't sure how good this team could be because I didn't think the defense would be all that good, but then the front seven really carried the weight, and when the front seven is as dominant as it was for us, especially against the pass, which like teams are passing like 60% of the time or whatever, then you can really swing games in your favor when you have the pass rushers that we have. And the offense had their highs and lows, battled through a couple injuries, but I think that for the most part, the trajectory is pointed up for both sides of the football. Now, we could meet some roadblocks here as we sim ahead. Once I hit that advanced week button, we find out who's retiring, and if Phillip Rivers retires, it changes the entire offseason. And really the entire series is a domino effect because it means we're going to prioritize quarterback instead of something else early on. So, I think it's time to get underway. Over 800 people watching here on twitch.tv. Thank you all for tuning in today. I know it's in the middle of the day, not exactly a convenient time for everybody. It works for some. And I thank you all for tuning in and supporting the content, me, and the series. I think it's time to move on, everybody. Here are the news stories right now. First off, as we see the Colts have a new head coach, and the Super Bowl is the Patriots and the Panthers. And now, something interesting here. I think it's my last 3 franchises, and I think I might have an image of it. I don't know if I have it handy to show. But in my last franchises, in the Rams franchise, okay, in these franchises, whoever wins in year 1 in my franchise has gone on to win in real life for, I think, 3 straight seasons. We had the Broncos, of course, in my Jaguars, year 1. The year before that, it was the Patriots. Year before that, it was the Seahawks. So, my series here have predicted Super Bowl outcomes for 3 years, and this is a matchup between the Patriots and the Panthers. And the Patriots in real life are one of the best teams and obviously always primed for a Super Bowl. So we'll see if history, well, we're going to know in a few months here if history repeats itself, but we're going to find out what my series here is saying is going to happen. So without further ado, guys, let's begin the Chargers franchise offseason. Retirements could scare me, and I hope they don't. But we'll see what happens. Rivers, Gates, Woodhead, and everybody else, what are your decisions heading into Season 2? We'll find out. But we're advancing through Super Bowl week. If the Panthers win it in here, it's going to be crazy. Tom Brady, one of the greatest late-round picks, calls it quits, so we know that he has retired. And I don't see any retirements on our screen. I think that's a good sign. First up, we're going to see who won the Super Bowl. News. And who did it? We know Brady retired. Did he go out a winner? Terrell Suggs leaves. We have some more contracts going here. Oh, I see the story there. Antonio Gates walks away. He has retired. Where are the Super Bowls? Where's the Super Bowl news, people. I'm trying to find the Super Bowl news. Seahawks are number 1. I can't see what happened here. I have to go to the other spot here. I gotta go to the schedule. The Super Bowl champion is Super Bowl. It is New England. So, if my series is right, for a 4th time in a row, the Patriots will be Super Bowl champions. They beat the Panthers 33-27 in the NFL's first overtime Super Bowl. So they get the touchdown in OT. Brady must have walked off pretty awesome in there. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it doesn't show the stats for Brady because he retired, so now he's off the stat books. That happens. So Patriots won, and that could predict the future. It's worked 3 times in a row. What do they say? Like 1 time a fluke, 2 times a trend, 3 times is for real, something like that. I forget. But we'll see if it happens a 4th time. Anyway, we're sitting here. We have a brand new trainer. We hired Morgan here. I forget his first name. But he had world-class regression or whatever it was. So he's going to be the best guy at the cheapest price. That's what you always want to do. So I think it's time for us to look at the transaction log and first look at retirements. And we're going to go first to the Chargers. Were there any other surprises that weren't shown? Woodhead retires and Antonio Gates. So I expected Gates to retire, and I kind of expected him to be the only one, but Danny Woodhead is also retired, meaning we're looking for 2 running backs this offseason. 1 to at least split time, and 1 for sure to be that thumper. And Danny Woodhead is a big loss for us. Now, he was going to be very, very expensive. He was actually requesting like $6 million a year, and I guess because we didn't give it to him, he decided to hang it up. But Woodhead was obviously maybe the best pass-catching running back in the game. I think his catching and route running, somebody said, were the best in the game for running backs. And he had enough speed and agility to be really effective. And he was for a long time. But he's now retired. So Hunter Henry takes over for Antonio Gates. And we don't have a replacement yet for Danny Woodhead. But it's one less free agent for us to worry about. So already a little bit of an interesting start here. I didn't think Danny Woodhead would actually retire. Now he can't steal Gordon's snaps. So I'll find somebody else to steal snaps. And I could try keeping around Brandon Oliver. And he's a guy whose talent I like a lot. And he has 86 speed, 90 acceleration, 88 carrying. Does it show his power? His trucking's only 68, so he's not going to be that thumper I want. He was injured heading into this season, so he didn't get to play. And there's no way I would consider making this offer. That's like starting running back money. And I'm not going to think about Brandon Oliver as a starting running back. So I think we're going to... Can I just withdraw? You won't be able to franchise tag or re-sign. Yeah. I think that sounds good. Not interested here with Brandon Oliver's demands. We'll move on here as we're in the re-sign phase. And we have Manti Te'o. And I've already talked about, not really wanting to keep him around, especially long-term. I'd like to get another starter in here opposite Perryman, one who complements him better. And I think I'm just happy letting Te'o go. Do I even want to make a low ball offer? Not really. Speed's low, coverage is low, block shedding's low. And those are 3 of the things I look at the most. So I'm going to not give an offer to Manti Te'o. He's hitting free agency. Next up, Jaleel Adai, who was our starting strong safety, although Adrian Phillips played quite a bit. He wants a 2-year contract, and he's another player that I really don't prioritize in this spot. I think I'm okay just withdrawing the offer here. I'm letting a lot of these guys hit free agency. I said there weren't many key free agents, and that's how it is here. Alrighty, Sean Lissamore, who is 29 years old at defensive tackle. I'm not sure there's anything standing out here to make me want to give him another offer, especially at over $3 million a year. That's just not going to work. Now for a player who we actually have to have a conversation about, I feel, and that's Dontrell Inman, who had over 500 receiving yards for us, and I think that he's a good depth receiver. I don't know if I want to pay $3 million a year, $9 million over 3 years. I might be better off letting him hit free agency. I think I'll give him a lower offer of 2 years, like $5.5 million, roughly. I'll do 5.7 over 2 years and see if he takes that. I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to test out free agency. I can't blame him for that decision. I think I can get him at a better value in free agency because he shouldn't have much of a market. So I'll just keep an eye on Dontrell Inman, writing this down. All right, Kenny Wiggins, backup guard, and we're just going to pass on this one. Not many good ratings stand out there. Jeff Cumberland, he was injured for us last year, and I'm going to withdraw any offer here. If your catching and run blocking aren't good, like, you're not going to play tight end for me. Sean McGrath, kind of the same deal here, although his run blocking is a little bit higher. I'm just going to withdraw, and if we want him later, we can probably get him. Torek Williams, 73 speed outside linebacker. He does have 81 power moves and 76 block shedding. So I don't think that he is like a horrible depth, but I think I'd want to lowball him a little bit here, a $1.5 million contract. I would like to play for a new team next year. Next up, Javante Herndon, who was another guy who was injured for us. We didn't get to see him. He's still out for 21 weeks, which I'm guessing he'd be good to go in the preseason, but catching isn't great, route running isn't great. I don't want to give him a $2 million deal. I think I'm just going to withdraw here, especially because there are other receivers on my radar, especially in the draft. We're releasing almost all these guys. Kellen Clemens, I want a different backup quarterback. I'm surprised he didn't retire. Tenny Palapoi, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce this one. I might want to keep him around. Power moves, block shedding, strength. That's a fine backup combination. I'll actually be willing to give him around 1.5. And we got a deal done, so we actually kept a free agent, although a guy who I probably didn't talk about at all this past season. Next up, Tyrell Williams, who was a contributor for us, and I do want to keep around. I'd like to give him a 2-year contract. He wants a 1 year. I know his catching isn't great, and I've been working on that. Route running isn't great, but he did show big play potential for us. Maybe a 1-year deal here at his demand is fine. And he's going to sign, so Tyrell Williams stays around. I actually think he's on a pretty high trajectory in real life. And Chris Brown is the last receiver here, and he has higher route running and the same catching as Williams with 2 less speed. And I might be willing to give him one of those prove-it contracts with no guarantees and see what happens in camp. And he likes the offer, apparently. I take off the entire signing bonus. Nothing is guaranteed, but he'll still stick around. So that was a pretty painless re-sign period, and it usually takes more time than that. I'm going to save it quick. Never know what's going to happen here. But yeah, that really doesn't shake up things much. We had one surprise retirement, and I was already targeting running back anyway, and then we just kind of let a lot of those lower-rated depth players go, and one of the things I wanted to do with this offseason was improve our depth. The Chargers might have the worst depth in the NFL, and that's why I took them for this franchise. If star players were to get hurt, like, you were not going to be ready. So we're in the signing free agents phase right now. I want to take a look at the transaction log and see what happened, however. And there are our deals. We re-signed Chris Brown, Tyrell Williams, and Tenny Palapoi. There are retirements. Reggie Nelson and Donald Penn. That's going to hurt the Raiders quite a bit. And Janikowski. I'm happy to see them get worse today. As they're our biggest rivals right now in the West after how we played them this season in 2 games. Vikings had 4 retirements. Mike Vick retires. T. Sizzle and Steve Smith. Wow. Look at these 3, though. This is like a really, really good squad 3 years ago. Maybe 4. Well, Smith and Suggs have still been good. Hester hasn't been doing much in a long time. Colston, Shaw, Matt Bryant, Darren Sproles. It would have been fun to bring Darren Sproles back to play that Danny Woodhead role, which was originally the Darren Sproles role, really. Josh McCown retires, DeMarcus Ware. And then you have some re-signings here. Oh, also some players that were released. Who were some cap casualties? And we might have a couple, actually. Jarius Wright is available. I like him. CJ Spiller. Couldn't see me kicking the tires on him, necessarily. Any nice releases here? Chris Hogan. Joe Webb. We could bring Joe Webb to San Diego. We could run the Blazer package. That didn't work in Minnesota. Chris Ivory. Huh. That's one I would think about right there. Ivory. I think he's going to have a market, actually. Ryan Matthews. Don't think I'd bring him back to San Diego. There's Frank Gore, who I didn't see retire. Alteron Werner, although probably he'd just be more of what we already have at cornerback, honestly. All right, so let's move on. I think Ivory would be a good signing for us to make. But let's go to sign free agents here. We have $33.48 million in cap room, and I haven't made any cuts yet. And there's a couple that I might make. Highest overall is Terrence Knighton at 31 years old. I'm going to stay away from that. Backup quarterback is something I certainly want, but we have a chance to maybe look in the draft for some players too. Let's see. What is Tom's... Can I see Tom Savage's ratings? Oh my, that's not accurate. Well, I looked at it from the left to right, and that always looks worse. 80 short, 76 medium, 73 deep, 93 throw power. Savage wouldn't be a bad backup. What do you guys think? Yeah, bad free agent class. And I kind of expected that. There's Geno Smith up higher. I tried getting Geno Smith in one of my last franchises. I forget when I did that. Christian Ponder. Nope, just as accurate on here as Savage with less throw power. Kevin Hogan. Another developmental guy. EJ Manuel, what are his ratings looking like? Wow. Not good there. Oh, Nick Foles. Mike Glennon, everybody's favorite backup quarterback right now. Wouldn't be a bad option for us. And then Geno Smith, 81 short accuracy. I might be interested in Geno Smith, to be honest. But I don't know how much more development he can do. I mean, he's already, 4 years into his career. So developing him, you're kind of with a finished product, I feel. All right, halfback. Carlos Williams, Shane Vereen, LeGarrette Blount, Chris Ivory at 29 years old, and Isaiah Crowell. I want to see what Crowell has here. 86 speed, 84 trucking. He might be a better option than Ivory because he's 5 years younger. What's Ivory's trucking? 92. It's a lot better. I wouldn't want to give Ivory like a long-term deal. I like Andre Ellington. I'd be interested in Andre Ellington filling that Danny Woodhead role. That seems like a plug-and-play right there. Do we have catching numbers? 73 catch in traffic, so his catching has to be good. Andre Ellington at 87 speed, 84 carrying. I feel like he's a perfect replacement. If I look at the chat here, a lot of people, a lot of talk about Isaiah Crowell. Blunt as a thumper. Andre Ellington, though. Oh, it's 66 catching, but it's 73 catching traffic, oddly enough. So Ellington's catching isn't fantastic, unfortunately. James Starks, 31 years old. I forget. Yeah, he was playing a while ago. Quiz Rogers, Darren McFadden, CJ Spiller, Christine Michael. Paul Perkins is available. Giants messing around over here. Trent Richardson. How about that? That's an option. Bobby Rainey is a receiving back. What are his numbers looking like? His catching isn't actually that good. Matt Asiata. I know you guys want to see Asiata with 75 speed. Slowest running back in the world on here. Mike Gillisley. Not many of these backs can catch well. I'll never watch his franchise again if you sign Trent. I couldn't really blame you if that was the case. You should at least look at Spiller. Alright, I'll take a look at CJ Spiller. 88 speed right now, 78 carrying. His catching is a 69. So I don't think the catching is going to get much better. We're just not seeing a lot of high catching. What would be a guy like Arian Foster? He had 66. I know he caught the ball a good bit. Shane Vereen. How about his catching? That's a 70. So really, if I were to go for like a Andre Ellington here, I could settle for a 66 catching more than likely. His route running's good for running back, catching traffic. If I can bump up his catching like a couple notches, that might be a good option for us. I like Ellington a lot. Good agility, juke, might even be a solid return guy. I want to make an offer here on Andre Ellington. We're the only team? Yeah, we're the only team with interest here in the first thing of free agency, so I'm going to first lowball this. Now, I'm not going to be spending a ton of money here in free agency. I do want to kind of save some money. So I think $3 million a year for Andre Ellington is a fair offer. It's a 63-point offer. And we'll see if we get any competition on that one. Isaiah Crowell, though, an 82-point offer. I don't really want to go for that. There are some backs I like in this draft. All right, let's move on to the next spot we could look at. How about wide receiver? Ooh, Willie Snead's a free agent. Not what I want, though. He's more of a slot guy, and I definitely want a player who can work on the outside. We're not going to try bringing Vincent Jackson back. Don't want Marcus Wheaton. I do like Kamar Aiken, but not really dynamic. He's 28, a finished product. I'm going to pass. I'm not sure. They let Terrell Pryor hit free agency. Are you kidding me? But what are his ratings? I know which Terrell Pryor you guys are seeing in real life right now. That's barking. But this is not the same Terrell Pryor that you're seeing in real life necessarily. His catching's low, his route running's low, release is low, catching traffic is low. It's not the same. It's not the same. Cordero Patterson as a return specialist. Oh my. Drops passes. I think I'll pass on Cordero. We already have Travis Benjamin if I wanted him in that spot, although he didn't do that well for us. Marquise Goodwin. Not a whole lot we're going to find down in this spot. Let's go to a need. Let's look at offensive line right now. So we have a 78 as the best left tackle. We have a 77 as the best left guard. 81 as the best center. 77 as the best right guard. And 78 as the best right tackle. Sebastian Vollmer wouldn't be a bad patchwork option here in this spot. Oh, I have to see Barksteel's ratings. But definitely those guard spots are an issue. But you're not going to get youth here. You're not going to get a lot of potential. What about James Stone? Man, it's just like, it's hard to pay money for players you know aren't great. Amini Silatolu. Let's check out Ronald Leary, and he's got a pretty good offer already. That's good impact. That's really good impact. Fluker isn't a very good pass blocker. It's just so hard to think of how we can improve our offensive line right now. I'm not going to be paying big money for Quentin Copels. No way. Tyson Alualu. How about nose tackle? Mebane, he's stuck around. I might want to see, actually, whose ratings have fallen. Is there anybody that we're going to see right now whose ratings have dropped? Can you find that in, like, the regression? Where do you keep that hiding in here? My team, player regression. Oh my, Rivers, minus 28 total attribute points. And that's not all of them. A lot of stuff here for getting older, though. I'm not sure if it's going to be like his accuracy. Accuracy's still good. Dwight Lowry dropped. Brandon Mebane dropped. Brandon Flowers dropped. Daryl Stuckey, Matt Slauson, King Dunlap, Orlando Franklin, Casey Hayward. Oh, that's just based on some play. So a lot of these offensive linemen have dropped. Look at that. Franklin, Dunlap, Slauson. We just had 3 of our 5 offensive linemen regress. All their blocking ratings went down 2 apiece. So the first move I want to do here is I want to release somebody. Brandon Flowers is now 31 years old, and I don't see him fitting with what we want to do. And I think it's time to make the decision to cut him. We'll free 4.72, but incur a penalty of 4. We wouldn't actually free up that much. I mean, maybe he can move to safety, but even then he's a slow safety. Do you keep Flowers on the roster then? I guess we're not going to need that money right now, so I don't have to at the moment. I might move Flowers to safety, but still bring in competition. I don't got to make all these decisions right now either. I can cut them all later if I have to. There will be some decisions to make there. Try trading him? I'd be willing to trade him for like a 5th or 6th round pick. Let's see here. Can you make trades at this point? Oh, actually, I have to take a setting here, and I need to... in my franchises, what I do is I turn trading off for the first year because the CPU will do some dumb stuff. And now trades are enabled. By the way, if you want to see my sliders, I did alter them a little bit toward the end. Not any big changes, but if you want to see those here, these are what I was working with. I did mess around a little bit with blocking, I think on both sides maybe, just to find more balance, and I think eventually we did get pretty good balance. So these are the sliders I was working with. If you care to look at that. So now that setting is turned on. I'm going to try trading Brandon Flowers, because I really don't want him, but if I couldn't save much money, then it wouldn't be all that worth it, because he's going to be better than an undrafted player, that's for sure. But to get an extra pick, he's already on the trade block. I didn't do that. but he's a perfect trade candidate. And who do I want to offer him to? The Saints. They need a lot of help in their secondary. I know it doesn't say they're in needs, but I want to see if it can work anyway. A 6th round pick to the Saints. And the trade was accepted. So Brandon Flowers has been shipped off for a 6th round pick. That's an extra pick for us at least. Do we incur any kind of a penalty for that move? Or do they take everything with him? We don't have any sort of cap penalty for 2017. 2016's over. And we have more cap space now. So I think that was a good move for us. And I'm not going to be one of those players that just offers a 1st round pick. Oh, you said no? How about a 2nd? How about a 3rd? You guys don't play franchise that way. I don't know if we could have gotten a 5th. I doubt it, but I offered what I thought was fair. Yeah, Swami, I just gave your Saints a nice aging cornerback because the last one worked out so well. He set a record. Brandon Browner set a record that is going to stand for a long time, I feel. Let me make a save here. So Brandon Flowers no longer a Charger. We get an extra late pick, and we found some good picks late, or some good prospects late that I liked. So to get that 8th pick, I think, is really valuable for us right now. And that also helped out with cap a lot because he was under contract for 2 more seasons. And his cap number goes up. So the Saints, they love bad cap issues. So I helped him out. Alrighty, where do we go from here now with the extra cap room? Do we try making a move for the offensive line? Matt Tobin? No. Man, this offensive line class, both in terms of draft and free agency, is really disappointing. How about Watford? Not a pass blocker, not going to work. You like to make at least one splashy move here for the offensive line. But you also can't force a move. That's just as important. I like Schwartz. Why don't we take a look at our offensive line ratings? And this is why the offseasons end up taking so long. Because I take my time with everything. I got to be pretty critical of everything in this. So I just want to write this down. We have Dunlap. It goes 91 strength, 83 run, 80 pass, 83 impact. And I wouldn't say Dunlap is the first guy I'd want to replace. I want to find guards. We can find an Orlando Franklin replacement. I did not know. Well, also regression played a part. But you got to be kidding me with this. You cannot have 68 pass block. And there's a penalty. Chargers, what did you do? Why did you give Orlando Franklin this contract? How long is he under deal for? Do I have to keep him as a backup? 3 more years of 68 and lower pass block? He's not even tradable. He's not even tradable. He's going to have to be a high-paid backup. That is awful. We have the money to find a replacement. Not that there's a replacement that's going to be expensive. All right, Slauson, what are you working with over here at 31 years of age? 88 strength. He's got 87 run, 85 pass, 80 impact. That's the best we can do right now. Can Chris Watt play guard? Probably not. How about Max Turk? Maybe backup guard or something. How about Fluker? 91 strength, 77 run, 73 pass, 87 impact. And then we have Joe Barksdale. And I guess I'm keeping around Joey Barksdale here because he's got the 85 pass block. I know his impact stinks, but How picky can we be in this situation right now? The forecast for offensive lineman isn't good. He's under contract for 3 more years, although significantly cheaper than Orlando Franklin. Alrighty then. Let's go back to free agency and start crying about this offensive line situation. J.C. Treader. Okay. Can he play guard? He might be able to play some guard here. I don't know what his overall would be, but he has ratings I like. 18th ranked center from the Green Bay Packers. Ivy League. So that's one choice. A lot smaller than a lot of these guards. Not all of them, though. So Treader might not be a bad option. It might be the best we can do. And all we can do right now is probably the best that we can do. I think Treader still has a little bit of room to get better. Treader can get better. That wasn't my doing. When you're desperate, you make desperate moves. And I think that's what we're doing here. I don't think it's a bad move, though. Signing bonus can stay low. Is there any competition? No. There is. If I make the baseline contract, how many points is that? 78? Or 81 points for Treader? And I've never made a move like this. Worrying about a 78 overall offensive lineman. J.C. Treader, that'd be an 84 pointer. Not bad. He's only 26 too. Like, if you're going to make this move, I think this is the guy to make it for. This is an 87 point offer. We're in first for J.C. Treader. Treader's a solid player. If you're just tuning in, yes, we are so focused on high 70s overall rated offensive linemen because we're in dire need of help in that area. And any other cheap options here that maybe don't have many offers? What's Bobby Massey have? Pass block of 67? 67? Cedric Ogbuehi's a free agent? I'm not sure what the Bengals did over here. 82 strength, 79 run block, 81 pass. Well, we are in a decent situation at right tackle with Barksdale, who's under contract. So I'll do some more scouting of the lower offensive linemen. Any other guards? Because we could use 2 guards. Even on like a 1-year contract to help us out. Could Ben Grubbs fill in? Likely not well. Remember when Grubbs was good for a very long time with the Saints. Ronald Leary. Let the Redskins overpay for him. They have a 113 point offer. Mackenzie Bernadou is going to have the 77. Vasquez. Well, the market's pretty weak over here for him. He's a pass blocker, but he's not a good run blocker or have good impact. We have some ugly combinations of skills here, guys. Ryan Wendell. 94 impact blocking? I wouldn't mind bringing in Ryan Wendell, but it would have to be for, like, little guarantees. A 46 point offer. That's what we're going with there. Alrighty, let's go. I want to look at safeties. We haven't really talked about safety at all. What do we have here? Antonio Allen. 83 speed, 80 zone, and he's probably topped out. Stevie Brown. You don't get a lot of options in free agency, it looks like. How about strong safeties? Robert Blanton. He's a playmaker type. Not sure if I go that far. What is his coverage? 77? No, I think that there are some options in the draft that I like. Kicker, punter. So let's talk about backup quarterback again. I kind of want to make an offer here for Geno Smith. I really do. Now, it doesn't have to be like market value because he doesn't really have a market right now. If I give him a signing bonus of like 500K, or let's go 750. Give him a little something there. Like, backup quarterbacks aren't cheap unless you draft one. And, you know, maybe it's best to wait to sign a quarterback until after the draft when we can see maybe if we find a guy we like and then we're not stuck with a quarterback. So I think I've made the offers I want to make here for the first round. Let me just see if there's like a blocking tight end or something that catches my eye. What's Will Ty have here? 80 catching, 86 speed. Let me guess. Run blocking is going to be horrible. 63. How about Deion Sims? He'll be a balanced guy. Deion Sims wouldn't be terrible. Cameron Brate, Harvard. I think Orson Charles has high ratings, doesn't he? Not that high. And he's hurt. Nick Boyle. Slow. Can't believe Anthony Fasano is still in the league. What is he, like 80 years old? 33 here? 84 run blocking? I guess I see why he's still in the league. Caught a touchdown a couple weeks ago, though. Just a 1-year contract. Anthony Fasano. That's a 17-point offer, Anthony. All right, I want to sim to the next round now, and I think we'll get a chance to do some scouting as well. So stage 2, here we go. And I really hope we get Andre Ellington. I'd be excited about that. All right, a couple accepted offers here I'm seeing. And we have Ryan Wendell, Anthony Fasano, Andre Ellington, and J.C. Tretter all signing. So I found our Danny Woodhead replacement with Andre Ellington, who could also do some returning. J.C. Tretter, we're going to find a home for him. We also get Ryan Wendell, help us out on the offensive line, Anthony Fasano, Andre Ellington. Now, is Fasano going to be our tight end too? If that's the case, we're probably not going to do a lot of two tight end sets this year. It'll be a lot more 3 receiver sets. So let me just go to the free agency section once again. Play Fasano at guard. That's not a terrible idea. Is there any way he could bulk up like 30 pounds? Geno Smith. Oh, Brian Hoyer. I didn't see his name earlier. Hoyer doesn't have bad ratings. He's just older than a lot of these options now. I think the quarterbacks will still be there. I want to make an offer after the draft. Let's scout. Are there any... Well, we can find out now if there are any good quarterbacks late for developmental. Oh, and combine numbers are in. I forgot about that. Completely forgot. B throw power for Alex Buck. C plus throw on run. We'll move on. Ray Gleason. A minus. Ah, it was so promising. Matt Morton. No. Oh my. Gordon Urban. A throw power, B plus short, and he's got a fast 40 and an amazing athlete. Okay, we found something. Gordon Urban. 6 foot, 224 pounds. I'm waiting to see the chat catch up here and see what they think. Gordon Urban. That is an intriguing late option. That is someone to consider for sure. Yeah, all these guys look like they're 40 years old for sure. Let's go on to halfback now. And how about Sheldon Ladler? We liked him a lot. And he has the best broad jump, a 4.57 40, a bench of 22. I think he'll still be a good power back. Let's see, DeMarcus Scandrick ran a 4.39 40. Probably not on my radar now just because we got Andre Ellington in the fold. How about Barry? I don't know what his name should be pronounced. But he ran a 4.52 and had the best bench. So maybe he is the best power back in this draft, and especially at his value. Let's go to my watch list specifically. So Lorenzo Mallard, oh my. Don't know what his coverage is. He's a prototype though. He's an amazing athlete. Second highest 40. That's not bad right there. Let me write that name down. Lorenzo Mallard. 6'1", 237. But he is projected to go in the first round, and we have him as a second. Ryan Ledford doesn't appear to be a bust, although he's not that fast, which isn't a huge deal. I wanted to scout Antonio Minter, especially now that I know that he's fast. B- press, C+ zone. That to me is not a first-round cornerback, though. And I saw a lot of people saying that if you're going to go cornerback early because the talent drops off. Well, we're going to see if we can find much. That's a good one there, Derek Woody. 6.7 combine grade is a zone guy who also has B- man. Did I put the quarterback, by the way, on the watch list? I did not. Gordon Urban. Let's go watch list again. All right, to our left tackle options here, we have Mac Best. And nothing really standing out here besides his 40. Clifford Thorpe. Just a good pass rusher, or maybe a 4-3 cover guy. Reggie Shepard. Really nice vertical, broad jump. And the 40, a 4.48. That's not messing around at 6'6". And he's got agility. That is really nice. Runder Baugh. Kind of an average combine. I think he's going to go off of the watch list. Asher Whitlock. I wanted to scout him a little more. Okay. Not a first-round guy, still in my book. Cole Herman. 3-4 versatile. Probably not going to go for him. Oh, come on, Gant Suggs. I was hoping Gant Suggs was going to have a monster combine. He ran a 4.44, but the agility isn't great. Sadly, he does have great catching, so I shouldn't knock him too much. Pearson Jordan. Okay, that's something to work with there. I'm hoping one of these corners can fall for me. That'd be very nice. Darius Banyard. Good combine. But he's still like a developmental guy in my book. Kashawn Riddle. Good 40, good 20-yard shuttle. Max Byrne. I think these quarterbacks, these first two I scouted, are just going to be your pocket passers without much mobility. Lindsey Roy would have to fall for me to be interested, but that's why he's on the list. Dion Cartwright, 4.51. Cedric Macklin, good bench press, 4.48. And he didn't disappoint in the agility drills. He just didn't get top grades. Vincent Orchard, good broad jump, 4.68. Probably wouldn't take him just because I don't think he would be that complement to Perryman. I feel like he is a Perryman. Kadir Dockett, good bench press. If we had the ability to go with a big nose early, though, if we had that chance, he'd be an option. Sean Lorenzen, not a bad option. Not a great option. Did his accuracy get worse? I can't tell. If there are some draft stories, too, I'm going to check up on those in a moment. Oh, what's Stanley Steed's combine? 4.4? Okay. Kirkland Sintum, third fastest 40. He's a cover 2 guy. Pearson Hardison. Donald Henson. Houston Palco. He's going to have good strength, I know that. Zach Levine. The vertical is high, as you would expect, right? That's one basketball reference I'll get. Malik McNair. Charlie McCardell was one of the ones that people wanted me to keep an eye on, and I see why. He's a prototype with good 40, the best agility, and the shuttle time. I think McCardell is my favorite linebacker in this class. Naquan Osgood, not a great, or not a bad combine either. It's pretty good. Just not seeing a coverage rating there makes me nervous. Jarrett Lipinski. Leonard Howell. Ali Oman. Or Oman, I'm not sure. I scouted as many middle linebackers as I really could. Keelan Spate. Gabriel Waller from Minnesota. I promise his college did not factor into his place here on the watch list. Or did it? Terrence Hazel. Actually a good pass blocker. Caesar Butler. Best 40 on the team. Or in the class. Sheldon Ladler, we already looked at his numbers. Jamison Holman. I feel like we have some zone options, and a guy like Holman might be a guy we target middle of the draft. Dexter McElroy didn't really shine here in the combine. Jamal Cargile had a really good bench. He's going to have high strength. Russell Hanson. Deontay McGraw. We're almost to the end of this list, by the way. DeMarcus Scandrick, I think we already checked his out. Roman Burson, my favorite free safety. Only a 4.62. That's not a great combine. Coverage is pretty good, but lack of speed does worry me. He is a 5th rounder, so it's not like a huge risk if we take him. I doubt he'd be any worse than solid depth. Sylvester Morel, 4.640. That's the 50th. That is bad. He had a really bad combine. That's a bad combine, but he has good abilities. He had the Laquan Treadwell combine here. Austin Langford. I like those dominant pass rush moves. All right, Rashawn Wilkerson ran a 4.7 nearly. These safeties I was counting on kind of letting me down here. Avery Haskins, I'll definitely scout him with that combine. It's good in some areas. Keenan McAllister. Maybe if there's nothing else at pass rusher. Tavedas Bethel didn't have a great combine. Rashawn Whitfield, not terrible. Glenn Petty, good broad jump. And we already saw Gordon Urban. Might have uncovered a gem. And Sean Dantzler. Pretty bad combine. I'll take him off the watch list, probably. Alrighty, so I'm not sure there were any other moves I wanted to do in free agency at the moment, but I guess seeing that safety was so poor, I might want to go find a veteran to sign. Dante Whitner, Ryan Mundy, Nate Allen. 75 zone. Kamal Ishmael. I feel like there'd be a lateral move right there. Tavon Wilson. Remember, I did not re-sign Jaleel Adai. So he had 82 speed, 75 zone. I want to get a better combo than that. And David Bruton is better in those areas. Adai appears to be a better tackler. So there's David Bruton. Might be a decent one-year offer guy for us. Keep the guarantees low is all. Oh, and I never checked on Dontrell Inman. I better scroll down here. I already talked about Terrell Pryor. It's not the same Terrell Pryor seeing in real life. He's 28 years old, and his ratings need a lot of work on here. So let me find Inman. I do want to keep him. And I'm just not going to offer what he wanted. That's kind of mean, I know. But I think he's a solid player. I need help at cornerback. I didn't really check this out. Leon Hall. No, I'll pass that option up. It's going to be hard for us to fill these needs, I feel. Some of them, anyway. Ross Cockrell has 82 zone. I feel like I could just play Craig Mager over him, though. AJ Boye, not doing in here what he is in real life. He's tearing it up. Captain Munnerlin. How much does Munnerlin want? He's pretty cheap. I'm not really sure if he'd get much playing time for us, though. Morris Claiborne? No. Can't really expect much when you scroll this far down at cornerback. All these guys will be available later, I feel, so I'm not worried about this spot. Back to free safety one more time here. Duke Williams has a market. Raheem Moore does not. But low zone coverage shows you why. Chris Banjo. 80 zone, 87 speed. I could give an offer here to Banjo. I'm not going to give him guarantees. There we go. But I'll give him a higher base. Man, we got to fill some needs on this defense going forward, I tell you. Jordan Poyer. 78. All right, people saying Bakari Rambo. How far down do I have to scroll here? Not far. Right at online with David Bruton. 87 hit power. I could see us having a competition between Bruton and Rambo. And I made, I think I'll give him like the same contract offers as well. Or did I give Bruton a multi-year deal? I'll just do this with Bakari Rambo. Not bad deals there if we can get those two to sign. Okay, let's move on. On to stage 3 here, as free agency has taken a while, but, you know, we need to every now and then. And we have signed Bakari Rambo and Dontrell Inman. So Inman sticks around. Now, anybody else to scout here that can give us a little bit of hope in this draft class? I want to go to my watch list first and scout anybody that's on here that isn't fully scouted. Stanley Steed. We can end it there. I don't like seeing those C's in the second slot. Avery Haskins. Come on, guys. Alright, so let's go off the watch list now. I missed anything at safety? I don't think I let much slide by here. Not like I spent much time worrying about the undrafted guys. I mean, that's not a bad one. Modrikas Belton. I'll put him on the watch list. He's a prototype. Strong safety, like literally 3 draftable guys. Like, we just got unlucky that the draft was so bad in our needs. It was good in areas like wide receiver, which, like, we need 1, but not like a number 1 necessarily. Spencer Roach. Not terrible. It's on the watch list. What should we scout, guys? You guys want to see some draft stories? You guys want to see some draft stories? Let's check those out. Let's go to the news. We got 12 draft stories here. So left end, Heath Blackburn started to slow down halfway through his pro day. Barely finishing the second half of the day. So let's put a minus next to Heath Blackburn. At Rashawn Jared Eddy's pro day, he showed that he is slowly adjusting to a pro-style offense. Reggie Shepard, legit speed. Let's write that down. Let's see. Reggie Shepard, 4.3. Nebraska running back Abraham Rich may have ran himself out of even being drafted at the combine. Abraham Rich. Did he have a bad combine and he's just a good player? You guys want to see some tight ends? Okay. I just wanted to check out that running back first because he's at the top of the list here roughly. Ran himself out of the being drafted? Like, why? My goodness, he has 2 A-minuses. What's his strength? Alright, 28th with 18 reps. Not great. He has agility. Abraham Rich. He's a 4.34 guy. Ah, man. I know we signed Ellington, but that's now something we have to look at. All right, let's go to tight end. Ivory Lilly. Not a good start there. DeMarco Masonette. .474. That's the 4th fastest, though. Good athlete. I'll put DeMarco Mason on the watch list, or I already did. And I want to see what Doran Darden, what his ratings look like. I definitely got to check some other cornerbacks probably. With the bad story, he will have slow development. Rich will make you rich. Alrighty, let's we have 2 more accepted contracts. Let's just jump back into the free agent pool I want to see league signings. Wait, Julius Peppers now hit the market. Not that I'm interested, but that's interesting. Owen Daniels. Jacob Tammy. 55 run block. All right, league signings. So, Terrence Knighton to the Dolphins. Shaq Barrett goes to the Raiders. So, I take him from Denver. Doesn't change much for us. Martellus Bennett? Is he actually set to expire this year and New England traded for him? Didn't realize that. Wisniewski stays with the Jags. Carlos Williams to Washington. Blair Walsh with the Tampa Bay. Jared Cook to the Texans. Ryan Fitzpatrick going to Cleveland. He's going to save the day as the Rams pay for Willie Snead. Shane Vereen to Indy. I like that move actually a lot. They're a pass-heavy offense. Why not? Brandon Oliver to the Giants. Manti Te'o went to Washington, and they gave him over $4 a year. I wasn't willing to give him a $22.6 million contract. Oh, yeah. The Buccaneers drafted Aguayo and then signed Blair Walsh. That's a mess. Here are our signings, though. J.C. Treader, Andre Ellington, Anthony Fasano, Ryan Wendell, Bakari Rambo, and Dontrell Inman. Nothing flashy. But I don't think we made any bad moves there. Let's see. Sebastian Vollmer. I feel we just move on and see what we can get done in the draft. So I'm going to save again, and then we'll advance on to the next stage, which I think is the... Is it the stage right before the draft? I forget which exactly it is. If you're getting that loady wheel, try refreshing the stream. I did notice I have dropped a few frames. I'm not sure when that was. Lag. Let me make sure everything is good to go still here. 1 second. Bear with me. We're going to move on to the next stage anyway. Oh, I'm still going to be thorough. Don't worry, caveman. I'm still going to be thorough here. By the way, speaking of being thorough, do you guys want to see more from the, around the league during the season? Like, the episodes are already pretty long. Do you want to, do you guys want, other videos? I know some people do, the news videos. I don't want to do those every week, but maybe every now and then to catch you guys up in the league, that's an option. Oh, Bradley Roby traded? Did that just happen? I want to see if there were any interesting trades here. Stream is fine now? Okay, thank you. I want to see trades. What do we have here? We have Bradley Roby traded for Julius Thomas, went back to the Broncos in a trade. You're kidding me. That's hilarious. Wait, he's playing against us. That isn't funny. Wow. Roby for Julius Thomas and a 7. Unbelievable. That is hilarious. Oh, you guys are saying every 4 weeks or so for a news video? That makes sense. I was thinking about that. Then it wouldn't be too many. This is amazing, though. They made this Julius Thomas trade. This is hilarious. What else? CJ Fedorowicz for a 2 and a 4. All right, and we obviously traded Brandon Flowers for a 6. That Julius Thomas trade, though, that's amazing. But we got to play against them now. Alrighty, guys, we have another round of scouting, and then we're on to the draft, what we've all been waiting for here. Let's go cornerbacks and see if we can uncover anything late. There has to be some I didn't scout, like Antoine Phelps. Aw, man. Braxton Cadigan. Nope. Reneal McGill. The combine isn't good. Here we go. That's something to work with. Hey, I like that. Larry Wilbur from Charleston State. I can already see him making plays in the preseason. So that gives us a choice there. How about some late noses? Is there a late nose tackle, maybe? Just give me a 350-pounder. And I'm not seeing it. Bronston. How do you have a 4.3 combine grade? John Burgess. Diamond Henson. Good vert. He's got all top 10s. I want to start scouting now with my remaining points. Let's try finding, oh, it's Charleston Southern, not State. Well, that was, what? Charleston Southern, that's it? Oh, really? That's surprising to me. I didn't know how to respond to that. I feel like I should have known that, though. Sometimes I'm ignorant to that kind of thing. Alrighty here. I want to find some really good combines to scout now. Are there any 8s out there? Let's just head down the list and look for some high 7s or 8s. Scrolling through here. A lot of the middle linebackers I'm looking for in this spot. Find me some athletes here. Not seeing any shocking combine grades, guys. Here we go. Kawhi Mabry. Ah, man. C+. B-Man. C-Zone. Come on. I want to find another surprising gem here before we get going. Wilfred Aguilar. I don't want to spend more points on running backs. Nate Moreland. C+ pass. 7.7 cornerback Darby. Okay, thank you guys. See, this is why I check the chat every now and then. Sorry. And maybe I can also look at a couple other guys here. Darby. Aw, man. How about, let's go Trey Middlebrooks. He's 6'2", with the best 40. No, and I don't have enough points to scout Margarito Lawson, who's also a prototype. Best vert. Dang. Sorry, I didn't see that for so long. I have a few more points to spend. Does Kendall Hendricks have C+ zone? Nope. How about DeMarco Pickens? Nope. Alright, so that's all the points I can spend. And I think it's time for us guys to move on to the draft. So that was the free agency phase, and it did take a